The best action games of 2022, The Joy of Madness. It was a very good year for fans of the action genre, because not only did they receive a variety of works in this genre, but many of these titles had very high quality standards, which made the experience of each of them mandatory for gamers. These innovative and attractive titles, some were a new version of a big franchise and others were independent games that were able to quickly make a place for themselves in the hearts of fans. Now, we are going to mention the best works of this year in this genre and choose the best action experience of 2022. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. It was one of those titles that we knew from the very beginning of its introduction that it was going to become a very attractive and entertaining work. The TMNT franchise shined in the fourth generation of consoles, became one of the legends of the beat-em-up genre, and along with franchises such as Streets of Rage, it was the founder of many quality standards of the action genre of that period. After decades and despite the release of some interesting 3D action works under the banner of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles name, many fans were still waiting for a modern work while adhering to the roots of the classic versions of this franchise, and TMNT, Shredder's Revenge is exactly the answer to that was the need. This work can be considered a combination of the classic and familiar structure of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games and modern innovations. The game improved its beat-em-up gameplay and included new mechanics including special moves for different characters. Also, Shredder's Revenge is a great example of modernizing a retro and classic work not only for former audiences but also for audiences who have lived in almost a different world from gaming. In addition to the attractive art style and fun action gameplay, this title and its creators have also spent a lot of creativity in designing the stages and have created attractive yet diverse stages for the players, which strengthens the possibility of experiencing this work many times. All in all, TMNT, Shredder's Revenge is definitely one of 2022's worthwhile titles that will hold its appeal for years to come. Neon White. The title Neon White is not only considered one of the most special action works in recent years, but with its very attractive innovations, it depicts a fast-paced action experience in the form of a visual novel and even includes an attractive narrative. In this game, you will be in the role of the character White, a professional assassin who was chosen from hell and sent to heaven specifically to destroy the monsters that have made their way to heaven. In addition to White, other assassins have been chosen for this mission and they all try to achieve an eternal place in heaven by completing it, but in the meantime, very interesting story complications are formed around different characters, which make the story of the game to in turn, it makes it attractive. But the main focus in this title is not the storytelling, but the very enjoyable fast-paced gameplay, which, unlike many similar works, does not leave the player with a bag of ammunition in different stages to slaughter monsters, but quite the opposite. In this game, the ammunition is relatively limited and the method of fighting is very different. The core of the fighting gameplay in this title is based on a soul card. In each stage of the game, by obtaining these cards, you will benefit from various capabilities and you will find the ability to fight with enemies. The creators have implemented this mechanism very flexibly, so that you can achieve certain capabilities by strategizing, prioritizing and sacrificing some cards, and at the same time, personalize your deck of cards, which are actually your fighting weapons, and to get the best and fastest time. Try to finish the steps. As I said, the game's narrative, which is depicted in the form of a graphic novel, goes very well with its overall atmosphere and is a great addition to the overall experience of Neon White. In the end, it should be said that the title Neon White really means the word innovation, and with its different and distinctive approaches to the action genre, it creates a special and unforgettable experience. Bayonetta 3. Platinum Games Studio has proven its ability to create action games for years and is considered one of the most creative studios in this genre. From wonderful works such as Astral Chain and Nier Automata to Vanquish, MGS Rising and TMNT Mutants in Manhattan, they are wonderful experiences for lovers of this genre and those interested in the hack and slash genre, and the Bayonetta franchise is no less than the mentioned works. Since its birth, the Bayonetta franchise has managed to find an independent identity for itself, while at the same time making useful examples from the greats of the hack and slash genre, such as the Devil May Cry franchise. The first two versions of the franchise both offered an interesting story and a very stylish action, which quickly gained many fans in this genre, and now, after 8 years of waiting, Bayonetta 3 is finally released in 2022, and not only its former action has made it more colorful than ever, but by adding new mechanics to the gameplay, it brings a more crazy experience that justifies every minute of waiting. The Demon Slave mechanism is one of the new features of the third version that was emphasized a lot. Demon Slave gives you the ability to control giant monsters in real time during battles, which officially multiplies the scale of the game's combat sequences and makes it fun. Personally, I refer to it as a combat mechanic because it not only fits in well with the overall style of the franchise, but also makes combat suddenly more chaotic and flexible. From the very beginning, this franchise has attracted the attention of many fans of this genre, especially Devil May Cry fans, due to its deep, fast and enjoyable combat system, and even before the release of the third version, it has one of the best combat systems of this genre. But now with the release of the third version and the development of this system, Bayonetta 3 definitely deserves to be among the best works of this genre. Sifu. Although it is very difficult to choose the best title between these works, especially Bayonetta 3 and Sifu, I personally believe that Sifu is the best action game of 2022. This title has really revolutionized the beat-em-up genre and gives it a new spirit. A complete package in which I dare to say that the combat experience is extremely enjoyable, deep and full of details. The story of the title Sifu revolves around a boy/girl who watches his father get killed by one of his rejected students. After his father is killed, the main character himself is also killed, but he is brought back to life by a special charm or so-called pendant, and after 8 years of training, he prepares to take revenge on his father from the 5 people who were involved in his murder. While the story of the game is not the main focus of the creators and therefore does not have much depth, but the way it is narrated and presented to the player was enough to get you involved enough in the game process. What makes Sifu one of the best and most attractive action games of the last few years is its very deep, calculated and flexible gameplay and combat system, which is aligned with some mechanisms and exclusive features of this title and gives the player a wonderful experience. Every time you die, you grow several years older and come back to life, but this process also has positive and negative effects on the main character and how it works. How to implement this feature in this work is done very intelligently and does not bother the player in any way. On the contrary, they allow him to do trial and error just like in real life and use his life in the best way for growth and development. For every failure, he punishes him with an increase in age. Each time fighting a large number of enemies is fun, challenging, and truly feels like a test as it allows you to put what you've learned to the test. If the battles of this game are not enough to experience it multiple times, the stages of the game and the existence of different ways to finish them will definitely increase the value of experiencing this work multiple times. Along with these features, the art design and music of the game also help to make this experience even better and make it look like a canvas where all the parts and colors are in line with each other and reinforce each other. While Bayonetta 3 is also fully deserving of the title of the best action game of the year, the Sifu title showcases a work that truly transforms its genre and offers a different experience. Final word. As much as 2022 was a relatively weak year for the horror genre, it was considered a busy and very powerful year for action titles. Each of the titles we mentioned offers a special and different experience in their own way and moves this genre forward. The fact that a title can stand out in a genre like the action genre, which is full of attractive and unique works, and offer a new experience to gamers with its innovations, definitely deserves praise. What do you think about the performance of the action genre in 2022? Which of the mentioned works did you enjoy the most?